In this week's Forex forecast, we're going to be looking at all of the important supply and demand zones created by the large institutions and the banks in order to help you with your trading this week. All right, starting things off with the US dollar index. The past week, the institutions added 206 longs and they got rid of 319 short positions. This daily trend has held very nicely. We are going towards my target of 94.8 on the US dollar. If you look at the 1 hour chart though, we have lost some sort of uptrend momentum by the removal of this demand zone right here. But if you look at the 4 hour chart, we are still in that nice 4 hour uptrend. So we're not out of the woods yet to the short side. In my opinion, the daily trend is the strongest. So I'm pretty bullish the US dollar on most pairs. Looking at EURUSD, the past week, the institutions got rid of 5,300 longs and they got rid of 10,500 short positions. They remain about 50-50 when it comes to percentage long and percentage short. As we talked about last week, we reacted off that daily supply and we're in a daily downtrend right now. So in my opinion, the euro is going to go much lower. My target to the upside, if you're feeling risky and getting in long, my target would be 1.165. To the downside, my target is 1.475. If you come to a 4 hour chart, we have a nice 4 hour downtrend right now, but we are reacting off of this 4 hour demand zone that I've had laid out for Patreon and YouTube members. So if you got a confirmation trade out of that, good for you guys. Glad to see you guys are liking the zones that I produce for you guys. And so what I'm going to be waiting for is for this 4 hour demand to be broken, and then I'll hop on a 15-minute time frame and hopefully catch a short down to 1.475. If you look down here on the 1 hour chart, we've had a little bit of 1 hour momentum to the upside. All the way up here, now we're reacting off 1 hour supply. So I'm personally waiting for that new low to be created before I hop in short, because I want to make sure that, you know, if I'm trading a 15-minute chart, that the 4 hour and the 1 hour are trending down. And as you can see here, there's a decent amount of profit margin from this low down to this target of 1.147. Aussie US dollar. The past week, the institutions added 1,700 longs and they added 1,900 short positions. They remain 83% short on the Aussie US dollar. Looking at a daily chart, we had daily demand right here. Seems like it broke right through, right down to this daily demand zone here. So, you know, it's not a time to be shorting the Aussie dollar, in my opinion. And this daily chart is kind of starting to look sideways. So I'd be very cautious trading this pair. If you're looking for shorts to the downside, my target would be 0.721. And to the upside, my target remains at 0.766. But I'm personally not really trading this one right now. I don't feel very confident. If you look at a 4 hour chart, we've kind of had this supply zone remove right here. So in my opinion, if I am going to get in short, I'm going to have to see that low remove. But then there's the problem of this daily demand down here, right? So I don't really necessarily think this daily demand is going to hold, but we could see reactions from that. So I'd much rather the safest bet to wait for this daily demand to be removed and then basically short from here all the way down to 0.72. For me to start to look for longs again on Aussie, I'm going to have to see a huge shift in momentum. I'm basically going to have to wait for all these supply zones to be taken out, a low, and then a new high, which would create a nice 4 hour uptrend. And then, because as you guys know, if you've been following my channel for a while, I do only trade with trends. So I have to wait for that to take place in order to feel comfortable getting in long. But right now, I just don't know if that's going to even happen, because we've kind of lost the momentum to the downside. But in my opinion, I think that's easily going to drop lower. That's just my opinion for now. And like I said, definitely keep an eye out for these daily areas of demand. If you're going to look for trades in these areas, if you're a Patreon or YouTube member, make sure to take profit somewhat early. I don't think that we're going to get a huge move from here, but you know, anything's possible. Just wait for those trends to take place if you're trading the lower time frames. On to the British pound. The past week, the institutions added 5,300 longs and they also added about 5,300 short positions. They are 58% long in this pair. But as you can see, this daily demand has been broken. We have not made a new low yet, and we are at the lows. There is some sort of demand down here, but I certainly don't want to be buying the pound right now. That's just my opinion. If you do want to buy, I would target 1.36 right before this daily area of supply If you're looking to get in short, my target is 1.334. But what I'm personally waiting for is that low to be broken. And then I will start to go down to a 4-hour chart and 15-minute chart and look to short all the way down to 1.334. Right now we're in 4-hour supply, so you could be looking for confirmation in here on a 15-minute chart. Don't really see much going on right now on this chart. I would definitely wait for some sort of reaction like that and then maybe short the pullback to the downside if you're looking to get in short at that 4-hour supply zone. Me personally, like I said, I'm just waiting for this daily low to be broken right here. I'm actually going to set an alert right now so you guys can kind of see, exactly how I kind of manage my trades and what I'm looking for. So when that alert goes off, I'll be alerted that we have a new low. We'll have 4-hour downtrend, daily downtrend, 1-hour downtrend, and then I'll feel comfortable shorting. But the profit margin is just not really there, right? To me, the target's here. We could go even lower to 1.33. That's what you might have to do if you do get in short. And like I said, if you're looking to get in long, I think an easy target would be 1.36. But it's very difficult to tell, if price is going to react from here and go all the way up to there or not. I think it's all going to be revolving around this 4-hour area of supply. We could pierce through it, hit this, come down, or we could just kind of pierce through it and drop down from there. But right now in the pound, it's all just a waiting game for me. All right, looking at USDCAD, the past week the banks got rid of 4,700 longs and they got rid of 3,900 short positions, and our target was smash. If you got in long and you took profits at that target, as you can see in last week's video, congratulations. I think it's best to be taking profit right now because we are at daily supply. If we do pierce through this supply, I think the next place we're going is 1.257, so that is my target to the upside. I'm personally going to be looking for shorts in this area to the downside, and my target is still 1.22. So in this daily area of supply, we could easily be looking for 1-hour confirmation to the downside. And if you don't know what confirmation is, check out my tips playlist. I have a confirmation trading video in there. It shows exactly what I look for. I think there should be a link in the description as well. So for now, I'm just going to be on this 1-hour chart like this. Wait for this shift in momentum to change. We have a nice 1-hour uptrend. So what I'm going to be waiting for is something like this to take place, where we have that upward trend line and that demand removed. Then I'll start to look to short pullbacks at 1-hour areas of supply. You could even go down to a 5-minute. But what I would actually like to see is a nice trend down like that to take place on the 1-hour and hopefully on the 4-hour too. And then I'll hop in on a 15-minute chart and ride it down to my target that is, significantly lower. I think that we could easily get down there to USDCAD with oil getting stronger and stronger. I think it's very possible, but it's also possible we continue to trace to the upside here. So like I said, you could look for 1-hour confirmation right now. I wouldn't feel comfortable buying right now, but like I said, if you do want to buy, 1.257 is my target at this daily area of supply. All right, on to USD Swiss. The institutions added 1,400 longs and they added 193 shorts, but they are still 94% long on this pair. Last week I talked about how we lost that upward momentum, and now we're not really trending down, but we are going down, at least on the daily time frame. If you're looking to get in long, my target is 0.918. To the short side, my target is 0.902. It's not really a pair I'm interested in trading right now. I'm only kind of looking for short trades on this pair, even though I am bullish the dollar. I just got to trade with the trend, so I'm actually not super eager to trade this pair. What I'm going to have to see is a new low broken right here like that, and I'll set an alert there for, when price does do that, I'll basically wait for a new low to be formed, and then I'll hop in on a 15-minute chart and look for shorts down to 0.902. Right now, I don't really see any opportunities for trading. The 4-hour chart, we've kind of lost momentum. We're now going sideways, at least in this range right here. So like I said, it's not the best time to be trading this pair. If you're going to get in long, I highly suggest waiting for a nice trend to form like that. Then maybe you can get long on a 15-minute or a 5-minute time frame. But right now, I think it's just a waiting game on USD Swiss, especially since I'm pretty bullish the US dollar. But this is looking weak. USDJPY, the past week, the institutions got rid of 10,500 longs, and they also got rid of 11,000 short positions. They still do remain 86% long on this pair. My targets still remain the same. My short side target is 112. My long target is at about 115.6. This daily area of demand has held very nicely, but it's getting weaker every time we touch this area. So in my opinion, for price to blow through like that, it's not even out of the question. It's extremely possible. And if you look at a weekly chart, there's weekly demand and monthly demand down here. I talked about this last week. So I think it's easily possible that we retrace down to here where buyers will pick it up again, and we can ride to the target up above. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for on USD yen. I don't feel comfortable shorting the lower time frames down to this weekly area of supply. You could, but what I would wait for if you're looking to get in short is wait for this significant area of demand to actually be removed. And I'm actually going to change the way I draw it like that. I think that's a little more fair. So I would wait for this 4-hour demand to be removed, and then you could actually start to look for 15-minute 5-minute shorts to the downside, all the way down to that weekly area of demand at 112 down here. So if you do get in short, you're technically trading counter trend against the weekly trend, but there's a lot of profit margin down to this weekly area of demand. So certainly keep an eye out for that. Maybe set an alert below this supply level that I have, and once that alert goes off, switch to the lower time frames, switch to the 1 hour, 5 minute, 4 hour, 15-minute time frames, and you can easily probably get a short down to that weekly area of demand. But in my opinion, what I'm personally waiting for is for all of this junk to be removed like this, create that 4-hour uptrend. Then I'd much rather be getting in long on USD, and I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with me with that, but in my opinion, I have to trade with that weekly trend. And if you look at the weekly chart, the trend is clearly up, and we are in weekly supply, so we could see that reaction down here, but I think overall that trend is going to continue. All right, looking at gold, the past week, the institutions got rid of 2,500 longs and they got rid of 3,000 shorts, but they are still 76% long on gold. If you look down here, we reacted off of this daily area of demand that I've had drawn out for a long time. Go back and watch my forecasts, and we reacted off of that again. So in my opinion, looking at this daily chart, at least in this section right here, we are looking pretty bullish. So if you are bullish, my target would be 1840, and that is right above this resistance area right here. I think that stop losses could easily be triggered up there, so certainly watch out for that. If you're gonna get in short, which I don't really recommend right now, 1801 would be my target to the downside. And if you look at this 4-hour chart, I mentioned last week, this 4-hour area of supply, I said it was very significant. It broke this upward trend line and broke demand. So if you got in on a 15-minute confirmation trade in this area, congratulations. I did bring that up in last week's Forex forecast, so that's why you should be paying attention to these areas and marking them out on your chart. But as far as this 4-hour chart goes, it's looking very bullish. There is some sort of buying that took place right here, so we could see price come down to here and then do that. But right now on gold, it is looking pretty bullish. We've clearly broken that downward momentum, and now, in my opinion, we're going much higher. Like I said, on that daily chart, we could easily break this purple box right here and go to 1840. Looking at a weekly chart, we are in this weekly area of supply flip zone, but it's very tested now. So I think the ultimate target above 1840 would actually be 1870. And then once we get up here, I think gold is going to be going much higher. Last but certainly not least, crude oil. The past week, the institutions got rid of 1,500 longs and they added 2,800 shorts. So clearly, based on this COT data here, they're kind of adding to their shorts. It's no surprise, right? We're seeing that downward momentum. This daily area of demand has now been broken. So in my opinion, to the long side, the target would be 87.5. Short side target would be 77.6. I'm personally not feeling comfortable shorting oil. What I'm personally waiting for, and I talked about it last week, I think I'm waiting for this weekly area of demand to be hit. So when price gets down to here, like this, I will be on a 4-hour chart looking for 4-hour shifts in momentum. I think it's also possible that we break this zone a little lower and go to this candle here and then move up. So I will be looking for 4-hour confirmation in this whole general area. And I know it's a little bit different than most supply and demand traders do, but I'm very bullish oil. I want to trade with this weekly trend. That's why I don't feel comfortable shorting to the downside right now, but I do hope that oil does pull back to this weekly demand and we can get in long. If you go to a 4-hour chart here, this demand kind of held right here. We have a 4-hour downtrend. So if you are going to get in short, maybe you take some profit before this 4-hour demand. But like I said, my short targets are 77.6. But be very careful shorting oil. If you're shorting oil, you're going against the massive weekly trend that we have. And, in my opinion, sometimes we get pullbacks in trends, and that's all we're getting right now in oil. Hopefully you guys found this weekly Forex forecast helpful. If you did, make sure to let me know in the comments down below. Leave a like and check out the Patreon or YouTube membership if you need help finding your supply and demand zones. It's only $5 CAD per month. Hope to see you guys there and hope to see you in the next video.